Welcome to the official first season of the Homegirl Next Door podcast, a show where we have intimate conversations surrounding all things real estate and how it affects each of our lives. Each week, I'll be sharing my experiences as a real estate professional in this ever-changing housing climate, and will be periodically joined by my friends and colleagues in the industry discussing all the hot topics and sharing best tips and practices for the everyday consumer. I'm your homegirl and host, Shakira D, licensed New York realtor, and I love to welcome you into my home every Monday at 8 p.m. Grab your favorite drink and enjoy the conversation. Okay, I think we're working. We're good. Good? Cool. So happy Monday, friends. We are back for a brand new episode of the Homegirl Next Door podcast. I am your girl, Shakira D, your homegirl next door, and we're back. So this last week has been kind of a little cray, but it's all good. We have managed to get through another 7 days around the sun by the grace of God. And speaking of God, I definitely want to shout out the Most High. Before I jump into anything, I want to just give him all his glory, all his praise, not just for what he has done in my life, but in the lives of those connected to me. And more importantly, in the lives of people who we don't even know. So I'm a huge sports fan. I love football. I'm a daddy's girl. So my dad pretty much had me dressed like a little boy, and the sports was our thing. We watched football together, basketball. And so I'm a Giants fan, although he's a Jets fan. I still love him. Jets are cool, but, Big Blue all day. But I think it was last week, about a week ago, the Buffalo Bills safety, Damar Hamlin, he suffered cardiac arrest on the field after a tackle. And I was watching the game when it happened, and my healthcare background automatically knew what was going on. You don't see somebody just drop like that. That was most definitely cardiac arrest. I've seen it quite a few times in my healthcare career. And so I just knew, I'm like, oh my God, this man is dead. And he was, because they had to resuscitate him. But through the prayers of the world, literally believers all over the world praying for this man, praying for this young kid, because of their prayers and God's promise to always answer our prayers, he has another chance at life. And I know he's a big believer in God. He talks about God in his interviews. He wears a cross on his face. So I know he believes. And that just goes to show you, like, if you don't believe, that's just more reason to believe, in my opinion. And I know what God has done in my life. But if if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like there are things in your life that is dead, that needs resuscitation, dreams that were lost, if you're going through something, traumas, just know that God is a God of miracles. He's a God of healing. He is a healer, and he is a miracle working God. And whatever those things are in your life that you need life brought back into, just have faith, pray, and trust in him, and he will bring that life back into you. He will bring that life back into your vision. He will bring that life back into your health. He would give you those things that you're praying for, but you just have to believe, and you have to back up your beliefs with prayer and have faith in your heart. And so God is the winner this week. He's the winner every day. The millions of believers all over the world who prayed for Damar Hamlin, and we get to see him smile and just God, just really believe, like, God is real, and God had his hand on that young man's life. And I just wanted to just acknowledge that before we jump into today's episode. God is good. Amen. Amen. All right. So let's get into some mortgage news for the day. Interest rates, mortgage rates, they're the same thing. They're rates, right? But we're specifically talking about mortgage rates for all my technical folks out there. I'm not just talking when I say, because I know I say interest rates. Mortgage rates is actually what we are really talking about, is the rates that affect mortgages. So shout out to y'all for correcting me, but y'all know what I meant. But let's just, we'll keep it we'll keep it technical, right? Mortgage rates, 30-year fix is at a 6.2%, which is about a 0.30% decrease from yesterday's rates. And yeah, like y'all know, yesterday's rates ain't today rates, right? For comparison, this time in 2018, mortgage rates were at a 4.4%. So they're definitely up from the last 4 to 5 years, but a normal market prior to 2013, 2014, 2008, when we had that housing crash, rates were pretty much up there. But they're coming down. They're slightly coming down. 15-year fix is at a 5.7. Your FHA and VA are at a 6% and 6.05% respectively. So you do get a little bit better rates with FHA and VA. And as I said before, a lot of the rates will have to. That's not what I want to say. Your mortgage rate, right, will be determined by your credit worthiness and how you look on paper. So these are just the guidelines, just the baseline for what rates are across the board and what they're starting at. I do want to touch on also the New York City rental market. So I've had a couple of interested clients coming to me. They want to buy a house, but they're just not ready. And that's fine. One of the things I don't want people to get is FOMO, and that's fear of missing out. So, that's when you see everyone doing this one thing. So you go on social media, oh my gosh, she just bought a house. Oh my God, they just bought a house. Oh my God, he just bought this condo. And you start to feel like you're missing out, like I need to be doing this, right? But I don't want you to get that feeling, because you don't know how long it took that person to get to that point. You don't know what this couple had to go through to be able to, walk into their dream home with the keys and say they're homeowners. So for those of you who, you really want to buy a house, but it's just not the time, you're just not ready. Don't feel rushed, okay? Don't feel rushed. It'll be your time. And when it's your time, you guys have the homegirl next door to walk you through the process. But for all of my tenants and renters out there, for the New York City rental market, rental prices have come down a little bit. You're still looking at relatively high monthly rent, but it's coming down. And with all of this mortgage rate going on, a lot of people are, settling and staying where they are and renting. The only thing is the rent stabilized buildings. Obviously, we know here in New York City, there is not enough. There's not enough of them. But I kind of feel like that's going to be changing over the course of this year. They're definitely going to have to bring them back. I think they said that the amount of rent stabilized units fell by 12%. So that's a loss of 116,000 rent stabilized apartments. But they're working on finding a resolution and finding a solution for that. And I know a lot of people in New York City, although this is like the financial capital and mecca of the world, a good amount of people here just can't afford this high cost of living. But throughout Brooklyn, Queens, parts of Long Island, rent is down. So if you're in another market, definitely take a look at your rental market. See what's happening, on that front. See what the numbers are doing and see if it makes sense to just rent, right? Although we don't want to pay someone's mortgage forever, there's just, if you have to, you have to, right? We need somewhere to live, I helped a family of 5 find a really nice house to rent out in Hempstead, utilities included, and they're all splitting the bill evenly, which makes it manageable when you can do it like that. So if you can pull your resources together and you can get roommates with people you trust, your family, or, if you're dating and you guys can move in together to, cut costs on both ends and, help save some money, it's definitely an option. Be smart about it, right? Be discerning about it. Don't just, move in with somebody who you probably shouldn't even be dealing with. But for the most part, it's opportunities. It just takes strategy. And I preach that a lot, is strategy. I'm a strategist. I think short term and I think long term. And my short term will always affect my long term. So just some helpful life hacks, I guess. They're business hacks, but they can apply to life as well. So yeah, so no real interesting real estate news this week. People are selling their mansions for, less than what they paid for, but it's the housing market. It's what happens. This is what happens. And then, sometimes too, like, and I don't even know why I'm gonna say this, but it came to my mind because the Cardinals owner, he sold his mansion in Paradise Valley, but he took a loss on it. And the only thing I can think of course, the mortgage rates, but also some of these upgrades that people are doing to these properties, it's just like they're very specialized, or it only fits a certain type of person. And so people are, doing all these renovations and upgrades to their house, not realizing that a new homeowner might not like that, and it's something that's just not like paint and, cabinets and flooring. Like, it's some real, like, crazy stuff. So, as you're buying your house, just keep that in mind. Like, the upgrades and the renovations that you see in there fits that person, fits that current owner, and so, something to think about as you're looking. And as you're selling as well. So if you're selling and you're having a hard time selling, maybe it has something to do with, what you did to the house or what you didn't do to the house. I know someone who can literally sell a shoebox for top dollar. Like, she can sell anything. I don't know how. Don't know how she does it, but she can sell literally anything. But in this market, I don't think a lot of people are going to get away with that. So sellers, take care of your property, clean it up before you put it on the market, pack up what you need to pack up, save yourself save yourself thousands of dollars by spending a couple dollars on, making it look like someone would want to live there. Please, for all of us buyers out there, make it look like you want to sell it. You want to sell it to someone who wants to live there, not just. Anyway, so I be going off on a tangent. Like, when I start going, I really be going. It's ridiculous. So today's episode is all about the buyer's consultation. I know I did say last week that I would have a very special episode, but we're going to push it back to next week. That episode is still coming and you guys are going to love it. But today I want to just talk to you guys about the buyer's consultation, why it's important, why you should do it, what you should expect at your buyer's consultation. My process for my buyers, it's actually a new process that I've been rolling out this year. As you guys know, I'm all about systems and processes and making sure the things that I do make sense for me and my business and my clients, as well as potential clients. So, for instance, my process last year looks a lot different this year, but my process last year, even I would go through the whole process and the potential buyer would be like, you know what? This is amazing. This is great. Being that you said all this, being that you put all this out there, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not ready. And I respected it. Like, I like a person who can be honest with themselves, right? And they would follow up with, I'm going to sign these documents. I want to hire you as my realtor, but just not right now. But I'm going to circle the block and I'm going to come back because how you presented this to me, how you gave value in this 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour consultation. It was so much so that I won't trust anyone but you. Literally, I've had potential buyers say that. And just keeping in contact with them, following up with them, they really meant what they said. And so this year, I want to make that process a little bit more easier. We all are busy. We all have a ton of things going on in our lives. And so if I can cut down on my buyer's consultation without taking away any value, that's what I'm going to do. So a little bit about my process. It's always a pre-qualification call, right? Whether it's 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. If you come to me, say someone gave you my phone number and you call me, I'm qualifying you on the phone. I have a lot of conversations with people throughout the day. So as I'm talking to people, I'm going to make sure, you know that I do real estate, right? It may not be within the first 10, 15 minutes of the conversation, but at some point you're going to know I do real estate. And I'm going to probe and ask questions to see where you are in in that in that dynamic, like to see if you're a person that, okay, maybe she could, use Stan to get into a house and upgrade, or maybe it's a seller, a homeowner, and they don't even know that they want to sell, but talking to them, I can pull it out of them, right? So there's always a pre-qualification. And I'm going to stick with buyers because I did mention sellers, but I'm going to just stick with the buy side. After that pre-qualification, if, you know, everything lines up and everything is right, and, I feel like you're a good fit, then we will move on to the consultation. But there are 3 things that happens between the pre-qualification and the consultation, right? So those 3 things, and it's all a part of the client onboarding. And whether or not you start looking today or you start looking 3 months from now, you're getting onboarded. You're coming into my database, you're coming into my system, and at some point, we are going to work together. That's what these steps are for, right? They are what I call the know, like, and trust. So you have to make, and this is like with anything, like any consumer product or service, we buy it because we know, like, and trust who we are buying from. So I will send you the buyer questionnaire. Once you complete the questionnaire, you'll be taken to a short video just outlining what our journey will look like together. And it is me on the screen talking to you. So if you call me and you hear my voice, once the end of the day comes, you'll be able to see my face and get a feel for, a little bit of for who I am, right? Because you'll get that video after you do your questionnaire. After you do your questionnaire, then you will get a form to set up your consultation. And between those 3 steps, by the time we get to the consultation, maybe 30 minutes, because it'll basically be I would already have your information, right? Because you did the questionnaire. I'm already doing my research. I'm already getting to figure out, okay, this is what you're looking for. This is what you're going to need, may need or whatever. And then at the consultation, it's just confirming all of that. Plus, you've already seen me, right? And heard my voice. I took you through the steps, through the process by sending you that short video that you can watch at any time, right? You don't have to watch it immediately, or you can even watch it after the consultation, but that video will shorten our consultation time, but still give you that same value. So now instead of, being on a Zoom call or even at a meeting, if you come into my office for an hour, it's 30 minutes. You can get back to your life. You can get back to work. You can get back to your kids or whatever it is you were doing. My goal is to still, like I said, give you that value, but making the process easy and seamless, right? So that's pretty much how we get to the consultation. A few things before the consultation, however, what was I going to? Oh, before the consultation, I will also know where it is you want to go, right? So if you tell me, if you do your questionnaire, you tell me on the phone, you do your questionnaire, like I want to move to Suffolk County. All right, great. You do your questionnaire. You know, if schools are important, I'm already setting it up so that when we talk, I'm sharing the information based on your needs. So you can already have an idea of how the time is going to go that we're working together, how that whole process is going to go. You're going to see that. You're going to get value from that. And the consultation is really just a way to outline that, to give you the roadmap, to get you to a point where if you're ready to start today, you're going to start today and you're going to start prepared, right? And um it's also a way for us to build rapport as partners. um yes, you're my client, yes, I work for you, but I do consider us partners in this whole relationship. And it's more than a transaction for me, it's a relationship, because i feel I feel as though it'll be a lot more building the relationship instead of the transaction. It makes it feel more than just someone looking to get a check at the end of the day, if that makes sense. Um, Obviously, you keep the boundaries, you keep it professional, but you make people feel comfortable. I want to feel comfortable when I'm talking to someone, and I want them to feel comfortable when they're talking to me. So even with this podcast, I'm giving information, I'm giving value, I'm sharing my experiences, but I feel that I do it in a way that at the end of it, you feel like you know me a little bit, right? It's not so technical. It's not so, she's so professional. Because I really am professional. But if you follow me on Instagram, y'all know I have a sense of humor. Like, I love to laugh. And I just follow me on Instagram, on my realtor page, Security Realtor. If you're not following me, that's where I really feel like I shine the most and I can be my genuine self. Like, yes, I'm professional, but y'all, it gets real comical because you have to laugh. Like, the things that happen in life can really get you down and get you in a funk that you just, if you're not laughing at least 3 to 4 times a day, like, you need to be around different people. Like, I had a death in my family, and although as sad as it may be, because it's sad when we lose people, I I have my beliefs and I have my faith, and yeah, we don't. I mean, you can cry, but you gonna be laughing by the time. Anyway, you just build that rapport, right? You build that rapport with people, and you make people feel like they know you. And then once they feel like they know you, they like you and they trust you. And that's the whole point of the consultation. And at the end of the consultation, you'll get your final onboarding documents, your final, not documents, but your final onboarding steps, which really brings you into the system. You'll be able to register with the website. So that way, not only will you be able to search properties that are accurate, because let's be real, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, they're not accurate, okay? They're not always accurate. There's always an issue, right? You see something and then you think it's available and it's not. But once you register for the website, like I said, you'll be able to see what's on the market, save those listings. I'll be able to see what you save. So I check them at the end of the day, see what my clients are looking at, see what they're saving, see what they're interested in. They may not want to see that particular property, but it may be something about that property that they like, and they're just saving it for later. I can see all that. And again, it goes into anticipating your needs and knowing what it is that you're going to do next before you do it. Or if it's not knowing what you're going to do next, is getting you back on the right path. Because if everything that you're saving looks like a high ranch, right? But yet you're telling me you want a brick colonial, I'm going to be like, I don't think that's what you really want. And I'm going to start showing you, actually taking you to these properties that are what you're saving and what you're hearting and all that stuff. So that is the consultation and the whole reason for making sure you have an adequate consultation. Like I said, this year I'm doing things a little bit different with my processes, just to make it a lot more seamless for potential clients, and for myself as well. So I hope that was helpful. I hope, as you guys are out here thinking about getting into this home buying business, right? Buying your house, and you're interviewing realtors, which you should be doing. I hope everyone is interviewing their realtor. And listen, not everyone who does a consultation with me has, signed to be my client. And that's perfectly fine. Um, you know, I don't mind being interviewed. And if we're not a good fit, we're not a good fit. But you should definitely be interviewing your realtors and making sure that they are working in your best interest. I say that, I think, every episode, because that's how important it is to make sure that you have people who are working for you and your best interest, not their pockets. That is like the phrase of the year. Like, we're gonna make our money. I'm gonna make my money. So there's that. But just want to make sure I tell you guys this, though. If you have not subscribed to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, make sure you hit that plus sign and subscribe to the podcast. Leave I think it's like a rating or a review, whatever you want to do. 5 stars is like amazing. I will be so happy about that and honored. But make sure you're subscribing to the podcast. You're following us on Instagram. The homegirl next door podcast. It'll be in the show notes. Yeah, no, it'll be all down there. And follow me on Instagram, Shakira D Realtor. And I will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye.